Okay. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. At the start of this video, I thought to myself, you know what? I want to be answering somebody's question. Somebody in a YouTube search bar will be looking at an easier way how to do load development. Perhaps even how to skip load development or like a one-step load development. But I'll tell you what, the more I went into this video, the more I realized I'm actually going to upload it and probably have more questions than answers. Let's get into it. This is my beloved CZ527 chambered in 223. It's been a great privilege to own this rifle for the last 12 years. It's got a walnut stock, 5-round detachable magazine, a set trigger. It currently has a Harris type bipod in the front, and as you can see, I've got a locally manufactured silencer on the end. For optics, I've got Element Gen 1 second focal plane, also the worn vertical split scope rings. As to the barrel length, you're looking at a very short 16.5 inches. The rifle twist is 1 in 12, so I've never shot heavier than 60 grains, and I've also never gone lower than 40 grains. You might be thinking, well, this is a 22 Hornet channel. Why am I showing my 223? We'll get to the 22 Hornet in just a moment. When you look at this horrible pink target, you'll see that's a 10-shot group that I did with the 223. Now there was zero load development done to this charge. I went onto Vitavuori's website, looked up what the max charge was, I subtracted half a grain, and I loaded up 10 of them. The cases I used was virgin brass, and as for the bullet, I used 150 grain VMAX. Now to be honest, I did not crony the shots. I do not know what the extreme spread was. I don't know what the standard deviation was. I just know that I put the target at 100 meters, I aimed at the little circle, shot 10 shots in a row, and that was the results. From there on I went home, loaded up some more. However, this time I did 20 shots, and this was the result. And in case you were wondering, I did use somebody's chronograph just to check 3 shots, and it had a speed of 3,229 feet per second. Not too bad for a 16.5 inch barrel. I think let's move over to the 22 Hornet now. I've got almost a full box of ammo that I loaded up years ago. This round is a 40 grain Sierra Hornet bullet. The only thing I know about this round is that it's a new case, and also there's a note in the box that says 12 grains of lil gun. Now with this being a random load, I want to do a test and see whether this will be an acceptable group to hunt with. Remember, I must emphasize, I'm not trying to target shoot here. We'll be doing a 10-shot group at 100 meters. This should give us a good enough idea of how this round will behave, specifically as a hunting round. Obviously I cannot do a 10-shot group at a live animal, so I'll show you the setup quickly. There was actually a point in time where I used to hunt guinea fowl a lot with a 22 Hornet, so I thought I'd make this little scaled down version of it. And to keep it practical, like I said, we'll go to the range, we'll take this unknown load, and we'll just do 10 shots. I honestly don't know how this load's going to behave. And then we'll have a look at the results, and I guess you can probably listen to my excuses at the end. I was trying out the GoPro and the Eagle Vision mount for the first time. I apologize if the footage is a bit blurry. Also, with the very little recoil that the 22 Hornet has, I can actually see it move quite a lot of target. I think the reason for that is I can't get any preload on the bipod. And also the mount actually makes the rifle a bit top heavy. I actually remounted the scope before I left home. Used a Picatinny rail just to lift the scope a bit higher in order for the GoPro mount to clear the bolt. Now I'll be completely honest about this one. That is probably a very horrible group. I can imagine some guys would probably want to just burn the rifle stock and throw the steel parts into the river if their rifle shot like that. In fact, that would be completely respectable. However, the other side to the case can be, if I was to scale that guinea fowl back up to its normal size, put 10 guinea fowls at 100 meters, and then obviously shoot one shot at each of them, not even one of those guinea fowls would be running around anymore. Now, I completely get that on the one side, you've got guys that put real money and time and effort into their groups, and I honestly commend them for that. But I have to ask myself the question, is all of that actually worth it? Is it worth the effort? Because when you're hunting an animal, you're not actually shooting groups at the animal. You're supposedly only shooting 1 or 2 shots at the animal. Now the question is, if that shot is part of a group that's got a dispersion smaller than the vitals of the animal, what is the actual point of worrying about group size? If you, for example, know that pulling the trigger with a 41mm grouping is going to put the animal down, and you can do it humanely because you know your group size, you know your distance, and you know your rifle, what is the point of trying to squeeze another 1/4 inch or perhaps an 1/8 of an inch out of your rifle? Does this type of thinking make me a madman, or would I be a madman if I did not think about it in this way? So the one thing I would like to know, does it make sense chasing our own tails all the time? And as hunters, should we really enter the endless rabbit hole of low development? Now, the other thing I want to ask you, if you're perhaps watching this and you do own a 22 Hornet, I'm very curious as to know what barrel length Hornet you have. Now, I might actually be wrong in saying this, but I do honestly think that the number one reason why my 223 always outshoots a 22 Hornet, it must have something to do with the long thin barrel, or maybe even the silencer might be messing with the harmonics. I just know that my 223 is a lot more consistent and a lot more accurate. What is your thoughts on that? Well, we might as well end this video on a lighter note. I knew that if I turned my back, this dog's going to be up to mischief. I'll just show you a short clip of what she did. Anyway, folks, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.
It'll be fine by dustlight, I'm telling you, baby. These things eat at your bones and drive your young mind crazy. But when you place your hand between my collar and jaw, I don't know much, but there's no weight at all.